Hey, and welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of the Journey Beyond podcast. Today we're going to explore a very unique adaptation of Gary Chapman's groundbreaking book, The 5 Love Languages. For those of you that are new to this concept, Chapman's book revolutionized the way we understand love by identifying 5 primary ways people express and experience love. These 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. These languages help in decoding one's love expression and needs. But in today's very special adaptation, going into the topic of self-love still, what if we apply these languages to the way we love ourselves? So, with this being said, I hope you're just excited as I am to get into today's topic. So let's dive right in and discover how. So getting to the first love language, words of affirmation. The dialogue we have with ourselves shapes our reality. Positive self-talk isn't just about feeling good. It's about creating an environment where we can thrive. As Louise Hay beautifully put it, you have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. So let's try approving of yourself and see what happens. So let us do exactly that. In our world, let's try to replace the I can'ts with I can, and the I'm not with I am. These affirmations are like little seeds planted in the fertile soil of our minds, which, when watered on a regular basis, bloom into a garden of self-esteem and confidence. So imagine starting your day with affirmations like, I am worthy of my dreams, or I am enough just the way I am. It's not just about saying these words. It's about feeling them. It's about believing in their power. Because the more we affirm our worth, the more we align our actions with this belief. It's about creating a reality where self-love isn't just an occasional guest, but a permanent resident in the home of our soul. I've experienced this firsthand in my life. Being raised in an environment where love was always present from the people around me, but due to my own issues, due to my own traumatic experiences, due to my own lack of self-love, my lack of worthiness, which resulted in a lot of other things, such as lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-love. Most importantly, I was always very prone to down-talking myself and not deeming my worth and not seeing the light that was within me. So I was very prone to having negative self-talk. When going on my healing journey, this was very weird to tackle, because if you're only used to, going in a certain manner, your brain doesn't want to change and switch around. Your brain doesn't want to use any other language than the language that it's used to using. So I had to force myself to willingly implement things such as I am worthy, instead of no, I'm not worthy. Things of I love myself, instead of, well, you're not worthy of receiving any love. And slowly, time by time again, after implementing them for month and end, my brain slowly started adapting them for myself. And I started using these words of affirmation for myself. So as we embrace affirming words, let's also consider, as a second point, as the second love language, the acts that we perform for ourselves. This actually brings us to our next language, acts of service. In the words of Audre Lorde, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. Self-care is a revolutionary act. It's about taking the time to do the things that nurture our body, our mind, and our soul. Whether it's preparing a nutritious meal, whether it's dedicating time to our hobbies, or simply keeping our living space clean and organized. These acts are our way of honoring our worth. So when we perform acts of service for ourselves, we send a super powerful message to our subconscious mind that we matter, that our well-being matters, and that it is important. It might seem small at first, such as a cup of tea made with care and love, maybe a short walk through nature. But these small acts accumulate. They become the foundation of a life lived with respect and love for oneself. So let's commit to performing at least one act of service for ourselves each day, no matter how small it is. When you are, or when you have been a typical people pleaser like I am, the happiness, love, and worth of other people always stands in front of your own. So when constantly caring about the external world, when constantly caring about anyone else but yourself, you don't realize how dirty your laundry is getting. You don't realize how you're putting dirt spots on the very clothes that you are wearing because you're just too focused on looking at everybody else's. So I realized that myself, that the more I was trying to live in the external, the more my internal world was suffering. And I didn't realize that until I was standing in my own mess. I didn't realize that until I looked around me and saw my room, my apartment, being a complete mess, which, in other words, your external environment is always a direct reflection of your internal world. So I knew being in a dirty environment meant that I didn't take any seconds to think about myself. I didn't practice any acts of service for myself, only for the people around me. And I knew that had to change. So the first thing I did was started to clean my apartment on a regular basis, because a clean environment helps the mind to stay structured and stay clean as well. And the second thing I did, those small little acts of service to myself, such as getting myself a brunch all by myself, because I felt like doing that. Taking a walk in nature all by myself. I know a lot of people can't be with themselves, but because it seems scary, and I get it. I've been super scared the first time I took my first solo trip to Barcelona. I was super scared the first time I sat in a restaurant by myself. It's scary because we think we need people around us the entire time, constantly. But slowly, step by step, the more often you do it, the more you start realizing that these are the acts of service that your soul needs, where it's not about them, but it's about you. Where it's not about their attention, but about attention towards yourself. And where it's not about caring about others in your environment, but it's about caring about your own well-being. So speaking of caring, sometimes the most profound acts of love come in the form of gifts we give to ourselves. So let's unwrap the next love language. Receiving gifts. In the language of receiving gifts, it's not about materialism. It's about self-appreciation. It's about acknowledging and celebrating ourselves. It's the joy of treating ourselves with things that bring us genuine happiness. As Mandy Hale said, it's not selfish to love yourself, take care of yourself, and to make your happiness a priority. It is necessary. So whether it's buying that book that you've always wanted to read, or investing in a course in the interest that you have in your world, or simply enjoying your favorite coffee, it's a testament to your worthiness. Self-gifting is a beautiful practice. It's a reminder that you deserve to be pampered, to be delighted. It's about being as generous with yourself as you are with others. Every time you gift yourself something, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy and valuable. This practice isn't just about the price tag. It's about the intention behind, the acknowledgement of your own worth. So start doing for yourself the things that you would do to others. If you are a typical people pleaser and you love making yourself gifts, ask yourself, when was the last time I made myself a gift? When was the last time I treated myself? When was the last time I bought myself something that I wanted to have, that I wanted to do? A thing that typical people pleasers have, or at least the ones that are lacking some level of self-worth towards themselves, I'm speaking to myself about myself and to myself right now, you give love in order to receive love. You give conditional love in order to feel a sense of love that you will be given back. So not everyone out there has that sense of wanting to treat people. And their love language might not be receiving or gifting gifts, acts of service. So what happened to me a lot of times, I gave people or treated people, I gave them gifts, I made them small little presents, really cute ones actually. Let it be a book, let it be a little gift card where I wrote a handwritten poem, let it be, a spa treatment because I knew that person was needing it. But at the same time, I was waiting for them to do the same thing to me. I was gifting presents to people for their birthdays, always hoping, well, when am I going to get a beautiful gift like that? And it didn't happen for a long time. Funny enough, until I realized that these presents should be unconditionally and they should be made without any strings attached. And the moment I realized that for myself, all of a sudden the gift started coming in. So I started treating myself with spa treatments, with massage treatments, with these books that I always wanted to buy that cost quite a lot. I started treating myself with little trips here and there, to Lisbon, to Barcelona, to Berlin. And I did that all just for me. And like I said, it's not about the price tag. I mean, obviously a trip like Barcelona, yes, it costs money, the flight, hotel, nourishment, everything. But it was not about that. It was about taking time for myself, a couple of days outside of my, habitual environment. And these times I gifted to myself. I treated myself with food, with everything around, and it helped me. So gifts can be tangible, but sometimes the most beautiful and precious gift that you have is time. And this leads us to our next language of self-love, quality time. Quality time is about dedicating moments to truly be with ourselves, to listen and to reflect. In the hustle of life, we often forget just to be with ourselves. As Naria Wadid wrote, "And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this." So let's give ourselves the gift of time. Time to reflect, time to enjoy our own company, and time to just simply be. Spending quality time with ourselves can be super transformative. It could be meditating and journaling, or simply sitting quietly and tuning into our inner world. It's in these moments of solitude that we often hear the whispers of our soul, guiding us, comforting us. So let's make it a conscious effort to spend some time uninterrupted with ourselves daily, even if it's just for a few minutes. Block yourself. Call it me time. Make a repeating alarm every single day. Energy check-in. Me time. It's time for Tim, I started doing this, and I know that Matthew talked about this in our last episode where he spoke about, energy check-in time. How often per day do you take time to truly check in with yourself? To sit and ask yourself, wow, how am I feeling today? What is my state right now? What do I need? If you're honest with yourself, how often do you ask yourself those questions? How often do you ask how other people feel? And how often do you ask yourself how you feel and what you need? So quality time, I think, is one. It entangles all of the other love languages, but it's so crucial. It's so crucial to value and to honor your time, to make it a ritual, to give you the quality time that you need, that your soul needs to just relax, to express itself, so you can connect or reconnect back with it. And these moments of reflection, let's not forget the power of touch, our final love language that brings a sense of comfort and love to our being. And don't get me wrong, physical touch, don't get this wrong. I mean, take it in the sense and the context of self-love. Maybe some of you are thinking a little bit wrong right now, but you shouldn't, physical touch and, bringing that sense of comfort and love to our being is my major love language when it comes to a relationship. And it's just so important when it comes to, nurturing ourselves. So physical touch in the context of self-love is about connecting with our bodies in a nurturing way. Our bodies are our homes. It's our vessel that we live with throughout this entire lifespan. It is deserving of love and affection. As Deborah Day says, nourishing yourself in a way that helps you blossom in the direction you want to go is attainable, and you are worth the effort. So embrace self-care routines that involve physical touch, like taking a bath, like massaging yourself, or the comfort of cozy blankets, like giving yourself a little spa treatment, like doing your daily facial routine and putting on a nice mask, putting on some relaxation music, feeling yourself, massaging yourself, feeling your skin softly. The power of touch is super profound. It's a primal need for connection, comfort, and care. When we engage in activities that allow us to experience positive physical sensations, we nurture not just our bodies, but our souls. So let's commit to incorporating some form of loving touch into our daily routine, cherishing the vessels that carry our souls throughout this life. I realized a couple of years back, I would say around 2.5 years back, I realized that I was at a point where I was overweight. I'm still overweight now, but just different, I guess, since I work out. But I was overweight, and I was just very unhappy with the way my body looked, and I think most importantly, the way my body felt. Those bodily sensations that I had of, having a hard time walking up not walking up some stairs, but like going on a longer hike, struggling. The sensations of not being able to push my own weights, to do like 10, 15 push-ups. Like that connection or that disconnection that I felt within my body really made me think. It was like, wow, I feel really bad in my body, so I need to change something about this. For me, and maybe some of you agree with this, I would love to hear your feedback on that. Physical exercise is a form of self-love, and I think it's one of the most important ones, because for your mind and your heart and your soul to feel comfortable, your body needs to be healthy. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people out there who don't worship their bodies, who don't care about their physical health, who don't care about their health overall. Ingesting fast food, ingesting loads amounts of alcohol, not really wanting to think about the effects that it leaves with your body. Getting uncomfortable with their own weight, with their own looks, getting very, getting very discontent with their physical vessel. And at a certain point, that translates into, your mind being cracked, your mind slowly feeling uncomfortable, bringing up things like anxiety, things like depression, things like, self-worth problems. So I started treating my body like the temple that I wanted to live in, the temple that I wanted to visit every single day. So I made it my commitment to honor my health, to honor my body. And physical touch for me, in a way, is exactly that. It is going to the gym on a regular basis. It is ingesting the right kind of nutritious meals on a daily basis. It is treating myself with a sauna, with a spa, with an ice bath, because I know the effects of them. I know what all of these things do to my body. It eases it. It makes it feel good. It makes it feel honored and loved. And that, for me, to be very honest with you, was my basis for creating more self-love and tackling things such as worthiness, such as love, such as confidence issues. Treating my body the way it should be treated was the first layer for me, and it changed everything. So I can just highly recommend to you to do the same. Cherish the vessel that carries your soul throughout this life. Do this on a regular basis. So these are the 5 love languages, if we would translate them over to the topic of self-love. I really hope that, some of these things resonated with you and you could take some notes, or you can just, it made click in a certain way to take that time for you. Because in conclusion, each of these love languages offers a very unique pathway to self-love. Whether it's through kind words, thoughtful actions, meaningful gifts to ourselves, dedicated time, or the comforting touch we give to ourselves. The way we show love to ourselves shapes our well-being. So let's integrate these languages into our daily lives, speaking to our souls in the dialects they understand best. So, remember, the journey of self-love is about discovering the language that resonates with you the most and practicing it every single day. So with this being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to, if this episode resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, make sure to leave a review on my social media channels. Follow the Journey Beyond podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. And I would be very happy to, if you would leave me a little review here on Spotify, because this would help me get your feedback, and this would help me for more people to see and witness this episode or this podcast overall. So with this being said, thank you so much for your time. I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. And this being said, as always, with all my heart and all my love, see you in the next one.